When we think about what makes a great leader, our minds usually go to things like strategy, decision-making, or execution. But what if the real key to unlocking a team's potential, their creativity and loyalty, lies somewhere else entirely? What is that secret sauce that makes people want to show up and do their absolute best work? Well, today, we're going to dig into exactly that.
And this quote from Simon Sinek just nails it, right? It perfectly captures this huge shift in how we think about leadership today. It's not about the title or the authority of being in charge. It's really about the responsibility of taking care of the people you lead. The goal isn't just to give orders, but to actually nurture your team's growth and their well-being.
And let's be honest, fulfilling that responsibility has never been tougher. The old playbook, the top-down, command and control style of management, it's just not cutting it anymore. It's failing in a world that demands adaptability, constant innovation, and real, genuine human connection.
And this, right here, shows you the real-world cost of getting leadership wrong. I mean, just look at these numbers. If you work for a leader with low emotional intelligence, there's only a 42% chance you see yourself staying long-term. But with a high EI leader, that number shoots up to 69%. It really just proves that old saying, people don't leave bad companies, they leave bad leaders.
So, what is this missing piece of the puzzle? Well, it's emotional intelligence. And this isn't just some soft skill or a buzzword. It is the core, essential competency that truly separates the good leaders from the great ones in today's workplace. So what is it exactly? Well, psychologist Daniel Goleman, who really brought this idea into the mainstream, breaks it down pretty simply. Emotional intelligence, or EI, is about two main things. First, being able to recognize and manage your own emotions, and second, being able to recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of the people around you. To put it simply, it's about being smart with feelings. And we can break this down even further into a really powerful four-pillar framework. Now, the order here is absolutely crucial. It all has to start internally with self-awareness. That's the foundation for everything. Once you have that, you can move to self-management. And only then, once you have your own house in order, can you effectively look outward to social awareness. And finally, to relationship management. You can't skip a step. Each one builds on the last. So let's start right where every truly effective leader has to, with their own inner world. These first two pillars are all about mastering yourself before you can even think about trying to lead anyone else. Self-awareness is, without a doubt, the bedrock. It's about having a really clear, honest understanding of what makes you tick. A self-aware leader knows, for example, that when a deadline gets tight, their own stress might come across as impatience to the team. They see that cause and effect, and they understand the ripple effect it has on everyone's morale. And as Goleman himself says, this is not just a nice-to-have skill. He's very clear. If you don't have self-awareness, it doesn't matter how smart you are, how much technical skill you have. You're just not going to get very far. It is that fundamental. Okay, so once you have that awareness, you can start working on the next pillar, self-management. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's not about burying your emotions, not at all. It's about regulating them. So when a big project suddenly goes off the rails, the leader who's great at self-management doesn't freak out or start pointing fingers. They stay calm and they steer the team toward a solution. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it's keeping your cool in a tense meeting. It's being able to pivot quickly when priorities shift without getting frustrated. It's about maintaining a positive, can-do vibe even when you hit a setback. And it's that inner drive to always push for excellence, not because you have to, but because you want to. All right, so once a leader gets a handle on their own inner world, they can then turn their focus outward. This is where emotional intelligence goes from being an internal skill to a powerful tool for connecting with and ultimately inspiring your team. The last two pillars are social awareness and relationship management. Social awareness is really all about empathy. It's the ability to accurately read the room, to sense how the team is feeling, to understand unspoken concerns. And then, relationship management is what you do with that insight. It's using that understanding to communicate better, to resolve conflicts, and to build really strong, trusting bonds with your people. And there is no place where these skills are more critical than in moments of conflict. Look, conflict is gonna happen. It's just inevitable. But an emotionally intelligent leader, they don't see it as a threat to be shut down. They see it as an opportunity for the team to get stronger. And what's so interesting here is the fundamental shift in approach.
It's a move away from just managing problems to actually coaching people. So, a traditional manager might just force a solution when two people clash. The EI leader, on the other hand, facilitates a conversation to build understanding. Instead of just making an authoritative call on a project, they guide a discussion to build consensus. It is a completely different and way more effective ballgame. And what this all leads to, the big payoff, is something called psychological safety. This is the absolute foundation of any high-performing team. It's that shared belief that it's okay to speak up, to share a crazy idea, to ask a question, to admit a mistake, all without fear of being shamed or punished. When people feel safe like that, they take smart risks, they innovate, they solve problems.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but does it actually make a difference to the bottom line? The answer is a resounding yes. So let's look at the actual tangible business results of emotional intelligence.
The data here could not be clearer. I mean, just look at the difference. Organizations with high EI leadership see employee turnover literally cut in half. Their project success rates are a third higher, customer satisfaction goes up, and the rate of innovation, well, that's just in another league entirely.
When you see it visualized like this, the difference is just so stark. An 80% project success rate versus 60%. Cutting your employee turnover from 20% down to 10. We're not talking about small incremental improvements here. These are massive drivers of performance and profit. But this is the number that should really make you sit up and pay attention. A 200% increase in the rate of innovation. Think about that. When leaders create that psychologically safe, supportive environment, they don't just get more work out of their people, they unlock their team's full creative power. So how does this actually happen? Well, a lot of research points to this phenomenon called emotional contagion. It's a fascinating idea. Basically, just like you can catch a cold, you can catch an emotion. A leader's mood, their stress, their optimism, their focus, it doesn't just stay with them. It creates a ripple effect, setting the emotional tone for the entire team. Which brings us to our final thought. If a leader's emotions are truly contagious, and they inevitably trickle down and infect their team, then the most important question any of us in a leadership role can ask is this: what am I spreading?